Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Site. Today I have Game 5 of the US Masters for you, where I'll be facing off against Keith Randall and his Elf Army. So, Keith and I have seen each other at Masters before. We've played Elf versus Elf. I am the undisputed Elf champion. I've already beaten one Keith this tournament, so let's make it two here. Let's go ahead, jump straight into Keith's list, and we'll cover the game here. So, Keith and his Elves, he is running two regiments of Gladestalkers, a horde of Sea Guard with the Fire Oil, two troops of Silver Breeze. He has a regiment of Stormwind with the Quicksilver Lancers and the Brute Strength. Pricey cav unit for 265, but it is nimble, elite, thunderous, crushing, so this has everything you want out of him. So, two hordes of Dracons, one with J boots. He has Argus, and then he has the formation just naked. So 12 drops, 25 unit strength. Solid, well-rounded elf army. A lot of stuff you would expect to see out of it here. So, yeah, Keith and I. There he is. He was happy to see me. I know. Inside, he was screaming, but he was happy. He was happy we got to play each other. So, but he definitely wasn't happy when he heard that we were going to be playing Hold the Line. Yeah, I think Keith was hoping for a token scenario or something that he can, he doesn't have to kind of cover everything. So Hold the Line. Keith was saying he thinks Hold the Line was the worst possible scenario for him here. Going into it, I wasn't 100% sure. I do feel pretty confident in Hold the Line, but yeah, we'll have to play it out and see exactly how it works. So here's our board going into the game. Terrain wise, we got impassable top left, bottom left, hill in the middle left, and center. Two trees here, impassable or not impassable, obstacle, and then the flats are on the far right. So deployment, Keith puts a horde of Dracons out on the left with a regiment and a troop of Silver Breeze. He has his horde of Sea Guard. He has his horde of J Boots Dracons here with Argus. He then has both Gladestalker regiments, the Quicksilver Cav. He has the last troop of Silver Breeze, the other regiment from the formation, and then the character from the formation. Keith chose not to scout with his guys. I believe he's going to be attempting to do a hold back and pounce later in the game. So for me, I have he has Elf Army with no spells, by the way. So Keith, yeah. So Trickster's Wand or not doesn't really matter. I think, yeah, that one is the Trickster's Wand out on the left. I have a Butcher Flesh Ripper regiment with Tormentors behind. A triple stack. This is indicated as number 2, so that is Blood of the Old King unit. We have the portal in the center. Double stack here, and that is Helm of the Drunken Ram with no token. Another Butcher Flesh Ripper, and then triple stack with J Boots here. Both my Mind Screeches end up on the far right with the Blade of Slashing Dread Fiend outflanking. So, I believe Keith chose sides, but I won first turn. So, I'm taking first turn here. There is a benefit to going second in Hold the Line, especially when I have Wind Blast, but I think in this particular situation, I really wanted the board positioning against the Elves. Keith already deployed, kind of further back on the, towards the back lines of his zones. Um, so yeah, I wanted to be able to maintain the pressure, as it were. So over on the left, we're staying out of charge range of the big Draken horde with anything important here. We're out of front arc at least there as well, so staying out, but we're definitely going forward aggressively. On the right, these pieces of terrain don't provide cover with the height 4 shooting, so one small mistake I think Keith made is that he did leave me a shot on turn 1 against this troop, so because I have so many more drops than him, I can always answer these. The Mind Screeches are typically 2 of my last drops, so yes, I'm going to take that. I'm going to go directly across from. I'm going to shoot some lightning bolts at the low nerve unit that can shoot. So, and I get 3 wounds, and I do get a waiver on them. So we pass it over to Keith. So Keith does reposition, moves forward a little bit on the left. He does see, I'm not terribly strong out here, not strong enough to take a horde of Dracons and a regiment of Dracons. Um, yeah, but I can annoy him. I can delay him. So yeah, so he just repositions a little bit, nudges forward in the center. He repositions his Glade Stalkers. One of them just turns and moves, and the other one positions to get no cover, and they're both going to shoot at the Dread Fiend out here. Um, Otherwise, his horde of with shooting isn't doing a whole lot. I think I forget what he's shooting at. I think he's shooting at this horde maybe, or maybe he was shooting at the regiment. No, troop shot at the regiment. This shot at the horde. He just doesn't have great shots, and with my stealthy, his shooting on 5s from his horde isn't doing much. So, yeah. So that is where his turn ends and my turn 2 begins. So we'll notice a theme in this one. Unlike the other games, this game clock is not going to be an issue for either of us. It is quite straightforward what we want to do. So I think it helps though that one of Keith's very he's very familiar with Nightstalkers because it's one of his clubmates' most common armies, and he plays Nathan Clevenger quite frequently. And then Elves is an army that I used to play, and I played a very similar army style. So we both know each other's armies, the limitations quite well. So it does make it rather easy when we both know pretty much exactly what the other's thinking and doing and attempting to accomplish. So but anyway, my turn 2. I back up with the Dread Fiend on the right. I do run forward with the Butcher in such a way that, well, he can charge with the Horde. That'll be hindered. But man, he's not going to be in a good position if he does. So, and the Horde is wide enough that it's going to be pushed over from this impassable piece. It will be touching the terrain, so I'll be able to see him even on the outside of the forest here. Um, just reposition a little bit. I think I'm definitely out of range to charge here. I think I am still out of range here. So his Dracons don't have any charges. Yeah, so it's all about positioning. On the center here, I am daring and tempting his Glade Stalkers. I'm just running him down with a Butcher. I have found that a Butcher Flesh Ripper will make Glade Stalkers' lives a living hell. So I'm just going to shove it down their throats, whether they like it or not. And then, yeah, just push up over here. I do keep the Dread Fiend out of charge range, but I am cautious, especially from last game where the Pond Warden kind of flew over. I wasn't really expecting it. So what I'm going to be doing here is utilizing this Soul Flares as more of a protector from the 20-inch fly nimble that can come out of these units back here. So no need to give away a flank. We're going to continue shooting. I think at this point we kind of have the shooting advantage where he has two Glade Soccer units, but they're not going to be shooting for long if this Butcher Flesh Ripper has anything to say about it. Something that's also going to point out here, this Butcher is absolutely able to be charged by a horde of Drakons with J boots, but if if my friend Keith wants to do that, I am all for it. It brings out his biggest, scariest, heaviest hammer, all for the low price of a 120 point butcher. And I will absolutely murder that unit as soon as it shows itself. So I am willing to start that trade game right here, right now. But in the meantime, we'll just continue shooting. We put another 3 wounds from one Mind Screech here, and then I decide, I think I either positioned it this way or I just decide, we're just going for it. It's, in waiver range. I shoot the other Lightning Bolt over here. So we get 3 wounds this turn on each. Do get a waiver on the troop. So very happy with that outcome, as it were. Like I said, we're winning the shooting battle against elves. Who would have thought? So Keith's turn 3. He definitely sees that everything I gave him is a trap. If he wants to take it, it's he can try to fight out of it, but it's not going to be good options for him. So he just repositions across the board. He tries to push forward to threaten the Dread Fiend a little bit here, but the thing is that the math works out perfectly. Where if he's outside of 16 inches, where I can't charge him, that means I can back up and be outside of 20 inches to where he can't charge me the next turn. So that's pretty much the stalemate we're playing at this point. He does shoot with his guys into the butcher. He gets 4 wounds and he gets a waiver. So it's definitely something going for Keith at this point. And then it passes over to my turn because his one unit that was shooting the Dread Fiend out here didn't do enough. No waivers, nothing like that. So we're keeping that inspiring card out there, right? So it's very tough for him to pick up something like a stealthy Dread Fiend. So yeah, going into my turn 3, and again, we're just gonna keep applying the pressure. We're winning the shooting out on the right flank. We have the position battle 1 in the center. The left is a little bit weak, but Keith's really not pressuring us too heavily over there, so I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now. So this is end of movement. So I back up, not letting the Dread Fiend get charged. But we do push forward in the center and with the left. So push forward far enough that these Drakons don't have a charge over into here. The only charge they have is into the regiment. But we did give flank to the Drakon regiment to the horde. At this point, I have several pieces here, and I just want to start trading. I think the worst thing that could happen to me this game is if we get down to turn 5, turn 6, and Keith has the majority of his army left, and he just has an advantage then, being that he's very fast, he's mobile with flying. He can jump into different portions of the board while we're playing hold the line, and contribute his unit strength in response to what I said. So I need to take away Keith's advantage of having the bottom of the turn by starting trades, even if the trades aren't initially favorable for me at this point. But I'm still playing it smart. All these charges are going to be hindered by this forest from the left hand side. So, maybe he bounces. Maybe we get lucky and we have better counter charges than expected. In the center, we are pushing forward aggressively. Not only have we given Keith one flank, we've given him 2 flanks with this horde of Drakons. I mean, that thing's likely going to kill me in the front anyway, so I'm just showing him flanks at this point and saying, "Screw it, let's go." He even has a flank with the horde of spears, but they're going to be hindered. So I don't even think they kill him on average. He doesn't have a Bane chant, so it's 50 attacks hitting on fives. It's going to be like, I don't know, 18 hits or so, and then fives again. So, yeah, I think he does like 6, 7 wounds, and he bounces with just the horde. So, yeah, not looking great. Butcher does get in there. We'll go through here. So, I actually reposition my butcher here, giving this, or I blocked this horde from charging because of how I pushed up. Remember, I said the horde would be pushed over to where it would be touching the forest. While my guys are just outside, their nose is just outside the forest here. So I've blocked the charge into the rear, turned around to accept the charge over here if he wants it. That butcher went in because, yeah, we're doing it. We're shutting down Gladestalkers when we can. Why not? And then we're just backing up out of charge range, repositioning in such ways that we have shots with our lightning bolts. So let's go ahead and just fucking shoot out of our minds again. We did 2 wounds here, but we did 5 wounds to Gladestalkers. Okay. Um, we roll low on the Gladestalkers, so they're not wavered or anything. But we wavered the troop again for the third turn in a row, which, yeah, I'm fine with. We got a lucky waver on turn one. It's fine if we needed a 5 twice to kill him here. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's where we're sitting. Also, I wind blasted his horde back here just to because I can, just to be annoying. I think the wind blast may have taken him out of my horde's uh, range, but probably not. Anyway, so this is where we're looking, and so bottom of turn 3 here for Keith, and Keith looks at the board, and I think he just realizes that I'm slowly but surely just getting better and better position throughout the game. I'm winning the shooting battle. Um, I think he felt like he had to make something happen, and so this is the turn that Keith commits. Um, and he goes in with everything. So, from left to right, really bad picture, but he takes the horde into the regiment, again hindered. The troop hit the butcher mainly because it blocks him up. He takes his horde hindered over the wall and the flank into the horde here. He takes his Dracons into the flank of my portal. He was able to position his units in such a way that his cav was not hindered. So he got a double charge into my horde here. And yeah, he countercharges there. So that is the combat. There is 0 shooting this turn. So Keith kills the Portal of Despair. But there's not an ideal reform here. Um, if he wanted to kill the inspiring, because one thing Keith did that a lot of people don't realize or don't do against Nightstalkers, his Argus back here ran away from his front lines, so he's not inspiring his units, but he was able to run away far enough over the last 2 turns that my units aren't inspired either. So Keith took out my inspiring first and foremost, which is smart, but it leaves him with no good reform opportunities. If he had done this combat and won, he could maybe have sidestepped this horde and then gotten a position to where, I don't think he could get out of front arc, but maybe he could keep, front charges with both of those, or maybe he could block the flank. Um, yeah, so his reforms were very limited and kind of ugly, if I'm being honest. Keith does kill the horde here, and he reforms like so. But you know what Keith didn't kill is anything else. I think he got this unit up to no. That 1 wound was before combat. He had shot it before, but he failed to kill the regiment. He just rolled bad when he was hindered. Um, and he failed over here to kill the horde, which was actually really surprising. I think that was very unlikely. His Glade Stalkers hitting on threes, wounding on threes, they alone, with a lead, they alone should do like 9 hits and 6 wounds. And then the Cav should do roughly like 10 to 12. So yeah, I think he should be get edging to 4 twice, 5 twice is about right. So yeah, it was unfortunate that I think you know winning those combats definitely allows him to be in a better position, but bouncing, well, this is going to get ugly fast, so let's just look at it. So the Dread Fiend was in range. He's going to come and charge the flank. The Tormentors we'll see back here. So you'll see lighter color ones end up in the flank. This one ends up here. So how that works is the one that was right here and the regiment both charge the front. So the regiment has to make room for the final position. Boom, they have leapers, they fly, they could see them, so boop, and hit the flank. And that final position there allows for this troop, which was sitting roughly right here, to do its charge into the flank. So, yeah, that is perfect on so many levels for me. The Blood of the Old King unit got the flank onto the Dracons because he couldn't stop it. We countercharged at the Butcher. And then over here, his cav is deeper than his unit here. So my Tormentor troop says, whoop, we were flying over. So we hit the flank with the cav there. We hit the flank here. I honestly forgot 8 wounds was on this regiment, so I double charged the front here. I should have had the horde charge here uh, and just left the flank here from the Helm of the Drunken Ram unit. But that's okay. Um, and the other units are just moving up. We're in position here to do some mind fog action. So he's positioned himself where I can't get lightning bolts without him charging me. So mind fog it is. And mind fog worked. So we picked up the troop back here with shooting. We picked up everything over here. So the Horde of Drakon, the Regiment of Drakon, the other Horde of Drakons. We popped, Blood of the Old King. That unit's just so consistent. Blood of the Old King's such a good fucking, it's a good fucking item. If you're not running Blood of the Old King on a value unit, what are you doing with your life, people? Use it, play with it. Elite and Vicious for 1 turn is better than most other combat items, and it's cheaper than most other combat items. So, anyway, so we position in such a way he'll have a charge here, but it'll be hindered, and his positioning will leave him in the forest. So I back up, I make sure I'm outside the forest so he can't see any of these units with the horde. And we pick up the regiment of Cav, the regiment of Glade Stalkers. Our forgot to mention our Butcher Flesh Ripper, who is fighting Glade Stalkers over here. He just does a nimble charge around to hit the flank of what's his bucket, Argus, and then the Horde comes in and replaces fighting against the Glade Stalkers over here. So Keith's bottom turn 4, and Keith is in save kill point mode. So Keith's not fighting me at this point unless it's something that can't get away. He is simply just going to be trying to leap over my stuff and run away. So this is a really bad picture. He comes in here. He continues to fight there. Argus just runs away. He jumps his Nimble Drakon regiment over to here. Nothing's looking there, so he's safe. He jumps his Lord over here. The only thing that can see him is a Mind Screech in the flank. Yeah, so Keith, at this point just outright says, "You won this game. I'm just going to try not to get blackjacked." So that's where we're going to be at here. So the rest of this one's going to go quick. Keith bounces off of the regiment here, which is, I think, roughly right. He had to move Argus back in, so I did have inspiring. But his horde hitting on fives with 25 attacks, he should do, roughly 8 hits, and then it's like 4 or 5 wounds. So yeah, it's not enough to take him out. He gets double flanked there. Um, and then I do take the charge into the flank over here to try and knock him out of the sky for a turn or knock away Nimble. I turn around with that and I position these guys over here. Um, so in combat, we kill the horde, reform like so. I'm just trying to, box out this regiment. It is 2 unit strength, so at this point, I'm thinking, well, he could push the left hand side because I think I only have 2 unit strength over there. So I really wanted to prevent him from jumping over and potentially getting onto the left side of the field. We do kill the Gladestalkers this turn as well. The Argus, I didn't do any. So this butcher really failed. He didn't withdraw when he went around and hit him, but he really failed. He did no wounds. So at that point, I was like, shit. I mean, it's a cheap Argus is so cheap. I just need to contain and make sure that I don't give up. Anything with this. Like, in my mind, the game's won. I need to make sure I don't make stupid mistakes, and trying to chase down this guy felt like a stupid mistake. So I just stopped. I just came back towards the center to reconsolidate. Um, yeah, so that's how the turn ends. I did do a wound or two to his character, so he's no longer nimble, no longer flying, but he is still speed 20. So on turn 5, Keith runs him forward. Keith then flies the regiment out this way. Argus starts running back into that corner. Um, at this point, I tell Keith, hey, all I'm going to do is try to, position and make sure that you couldn't do a last turn jump on to push this. Otherwise, I'm not going to contest that those guys will survive. I'm not even going to try to position and go after them. The only thing I want to do is see if I can, shoot this guy out of the sky and maybe position to charge him if I get a waiver. And that was that. So this is how the game's going to end. Is basically Keith concedes. I would be able to get stuff in position to have all the unit strength and all the sides. So it was pretty much just, can I shoot this guy and get him out of the sky? He flies that way. I shoot 12 lightning bolt. Mind you, he does have spell ward from the formation upgrades, so he is tough to shoot. So I do maybe a couple more wounds. I think he's at 4 on turn 5. Nothing happens, so Keith flies and runs this way, or maybe that was turn 6. Yeah, that was bottom of 6. So Keith flew and ran this way on turn 6, and that's where the game ends. No turn 7. So, yeah, this one was a beatdown. Unfortunately, Keith needed, all those combats to go his way. I think he did get unlucky with the ones that didn't go his way for sure. I think that it definitely is much more of a game if he kills the couple of scarecrow units that he was engaged with and gets the right positioning afterwards. But because that didn't happen, it just got out of hand. I picked up a horde that one turn of combat that after Keith committed. I picked up a horde of Dracons, regiment of Dracons, horde of Dracons, regiment of Gladestalkers, and a regiment of knights. So that's got to be over half of Keith's army just in one turn swallowed up. So it was it seemed like in the end it now seems like it's a much better scenario and matchup for me than I initially thought. So Keith definitely had the read on the whole situation coming into the game. Yeah, it not much to not much to dissect in this one. I think Keith would have been happy playing any other army besides mine. I do think my Night Stalkers counter his Elves pretty perfectly, and then also I think any other opponent besides me also does not have the knowledge or the experience of playing Elves and playing against Elves. I would say Elves are my second most comfortable army in the entire game. So, um, yeah. So, but Keith was an excellent opponent, a great game. Like this was, one where both of us are sitting at table two, going in, second to last round of Masters. Whoever wins this game is likely going to be on top table for the last game of Masters, right? And in the end, this ended up being a 20-point victory for me. So Keith did save his one battle point by fleeing with his stuff, which was, the right and smart move to do for sure. Um, but yeah, so this win really set me up well for the final round. This 20-point win, and at the end of round five, this puts me at top of the leaderboards, and I'm ahead of the next the two people tied for second. I'm ahead of them by 4 points. So um, as long as I get a win, in my mind, it should be sealed unless that other person that's 4 points behind me gets a huge 20-point, 21-point win. Then they can definitely jump me. But nothing I can do if that happens. So going in the last game, thinking we just need a win by the smallest of margins. A win should be enough. And yeah, like I said, Keith is a great opponent. I had a lot of fun in this game. I think, you know, for such high stakes that were on this game, I think it was a very enjoyable and relaxing game, and we both, just had a good time in the end. And I maintained the undefeated streak against all Keiths. So yeah, no Keith has ever beaten me in Kings of War. Throwing down the gauntlet, Keiths, where you at? Come at me. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys for this one. Should be game 6. I hope you guys are excited as I am. So check out last game, the Masters game, on the next one, and we'll see you there.